Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new here. Also, this is the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and we've got over 2,400 of these available for your listening pleasure. We continue to add as often as we can to this archive. This is the Raw for Valentine's Day, so yes, I'm a few days behind. But Valentine's Day 2022, and my gosh, pro wrestling is just a dead concept in a lot of ways. Bobby Lashley and MVP enter starting the show. Lashley said Elimination Chamber has changed lives and shortened careers, but so is he. He destroyed everyone put in front of him. Um, Lashley says he only has about a 16% chance of winning the match, but if you add the almighty factor in, those odds increase to 100%. Seth Rollins enters and says no one in the chamber could beat Lashley except for him. Riddle enters wearing a toga, and he's confused by all the math because he thought Academic Challenge was already over. Riddle invites them to RK Broga party, except maybe Rollins, who just gets ready for his match against Orton. Riddle wanted to see Lashley in a toga. I don't think anyone else does. Austin Theory interrupts. Theory said he used Vince McMahon's wisdom to help him in the chamber. Theory also called himself Vince's hands-on favorite. I think he meant hand-picked. And anyway, AJ Styles interrupts. He knows the odds are in no one's favor, but he's willing to do what it took to become. Legacies are on the line. Lashley runs down each guy while stumbling all over his words before saying he can remain champion. Brock Lesnar interrupts. He places his coat and cowboy hat on Theory. Styles off mic asked Theory if he was a coat rack. Lashley and Lesnar faced off. Theory tried attacking Lesnar from behind, so Lesnar suplexed him, and everyone backed away. Lesnar laid out Theory with an F5. Lesnar then used Theory's plane or phone to take over and then take a selfie. Street Profits run down the card in the back. They show clips of Dolph Ziggler's appearance on NXT last week. Tommaso Ciampa randomly appears on commentary for the upcoming match. The announcers introduced him but didn't get an entrance. This hour is unfortunately commercial free, which makes things go way too long. Ziggler fell off to the outside, and Ciampa gets up to clap for him. Ziggler, in his match with the Street Profits, alongside his tag partner Robert Roode, 248, goes for the super kick. Ciampa flinched. Ciampa responds by chucking water in Ziggler's face. Distraction allows Angelo Dawkins to give Robert Roode a spinebuster, and Montez Ford followed with a frog splash. Pinfall win. Ziggler knocked down Ciampa with a super kick after the match. The Street Profits try attacking Ziggler, but that doesn't go very well. Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz, Queen Zelina, Carmella, and a few background characters are also shown in the backstage. They chant Broga and Toga. Kevin Patrick interviews Orton in the locker room. Orton said Toga parties weren't exactly his thing. He had to get ready for Rollins. He knows Rollins probably has some plan to steal the title on Saturday, but he'd first have to deal with an RKO. Rocky Johnson's video package. Fans are chanting Rocky. They show results of Twitter poll asking if Kevin Owens is lying about Texas last week. 60.5% of people said yes. Pre-tape promo, Owens, he figures he wouldn't be on WrestleMania because he couldn't compete at the Chamber. He's heard all the nasty things people say about Texas, and they also say them about him. He admitted he wasn't lying last week. The only plus about missing Mania was not having to wrestle in Dallas. He said if this country was a human body, Texas would be its, well, backside. Damien Priest defeats AJ Styles to retain the U.S. Championship 432. They have a short match, playing off last week's contest between the two. Priest comes off the rope. Styles goes for the phenomenal forearm. Priest avoids it and rolls up. Pinfall win. Styles takes Priest's hands on in the match. Alexa Bliss segment. Bliss tells the psychiatrist that life would be good. She finally felt happy. He pressured her, presents her with a gift, and then torn up remains of Lily. This is played up dramatically, and absolutely no one cares. 1-on-2 handicap match. Almost defeats Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, 128. Why even have them get drafts? Almost pins Alexander with a tree slam in under 90 seconds. Anyway, so Reggie and Dana Brooke are having dinner at a restaurant. Brooke thanked him for bringing her there. Akira Tozawa and Tamina show up at the restaurant dressed in disguise. They put "to be continued" on this. Elsewhere, Kevin Patrick and the Street Profits join the Toga Party. They have a beer pong table set up, and Dawkins drained a ping pong ball with no problem. Second hour, yes, that was only an hour of this mess. Anyway, so Corey Graves lets us know that WWE continues to influence the world. Yes, they influence them by encouraging them to change the channel with bad content. Anyway, Becky Lynch and Lita contract signing. Becky Lynch enters and asks Lita not to go through with this match. Lynch couldn't sleep all week thinking about having to face her idol. Lynch said Lita had nothing left to prove. She asked her to leave to protect her legacy. Lynch did not want to fight her. The only people who wanted to see this are sick fans. Lita said she wasn't back for one last match. She wanted a long run, a championship run. Lita said Lynch was worried because she showed last week that she still had what it took to beat her. Like it or not, the match is happening. Lita signed. Lynch said Lita was pushing her beyond a point where she'd be able to come back. She said she'd do whatever it took to keep the title and wouldn't hesitate to go after Lita's neck. Lita brings up influence over Lynch's career and said that she had anything to do with Lynch's current state, then maybe she should be the one to put an end to her reign. Lynch chucked the contract across the table and leaves with her head hanging. And this is just horrible. Anyway, Elimination Chamber video follows by promos. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair do promos. Later in the show, the winner of the upcoming Gauntlet Match would get to enter in the last entry in the women's chamber. So there's a Gauntlet Match here. Rhea Ripley defeats Nikki Ash. Nikki is aggressive and controls the match for a little while. Ripley fights back and hits the Riptide for the pinfall. Ripley then beats Liv Morgan in 4:13. Morgan is in control. Ripley catches her standing in cloverleaf. Morgan gets to the rope, but Ripley won't let go. Drives Morgan into the turnbuckle. Ripley comes up with a super kick and a Riptide for the pinfall. Ripley defeats Doudrop 4:52. They said this is the first time the two have wrestled. They made the same claim about her and Morgan as well. Neither of these things are true. Ripley picks up a pinfall win with another Riptide. The crowd is behind this. Bianca Belair finally defeats Rhea Ripley to win the Gauntlet Match in the final spot. Announcers said Ripley's been wrestling for over 32 minutes, even though her total in-ring time so far is probably under 15 minutes. The rest has been commercial breaks. The only one that went through a break. When they returned, Belair gives Ripley a version of the Glam Slam for a near fall. They countered each other's finishers before slapping the ever-living dog pee out of each other. Belair slams Ripley off the top rope. Before Ripley gets her knees up and standing moonsault attempt, Ripley then follows with a missile drop kick and a near fall. Belair comes back with a spine buster and a KOD for the pinfall. The crowd is into this. Back at the top, at the Toga Party, Riddle is playing a song on guitar before he's attacked by Chad Gable and Otis. They chuck some tables around. Gable hit Riddle with the guitar. The rest of the partygoers run away upon seeing Otis and Gable bust in. Fortunately, Ford and Dawkins are already gone, so they weren't among them running away. Cruz and Aziz leave later. The third hour begins. They congratulate the LA Rams for winning the Super Bowl, and there is a presentation of a championship belt. Back at the restaurant, Truth, Tozawa, and Tamina run after Brooke and Reggie, who manage to hide. They reappear. Brooke thanks Reggie for saving her again. Reggie wanted to take their friendship to another level. Brooke said they didn't mean to lead him on. Reggie realizes they're only going to be friends, rolling her up and beats her for the 24/7 title. After Reggie left, Truth makes fun of the waiter and asks Brooke to pay the bill. Gable cuts promo before the upcoming match, tells the crowd to be quiet, even puts them in academic probation. He then figures most of them are already in some sort of probation. Gable complains about academic challenge. He said he couldn't believe they hired an Irishman with an accent thicker than Otis's neck to be the host. He calls Riddle and Orton cheaters and blamed the fans helping them win. He also calls the Mysterios cheaters and played a clip of Ray helping Dominic beat Miz last week, Ray and Dominic had no problem celebrating the win. Gable's promo was interrupted by Miz and Maurice, who entered to join commentary. Gable is decent enough here, but it's just completely horrible stuff overall, content that they're given. They work over Ray until he avoids an Otis Vader bomb. Dominic then makes hot tag and hits Gable with a Brana and Tornado DDT for near fall. Dominic goes for three Amigo suplexes, but Gable reverses. Third one into a Tiger suplex for near fall. Dominic then wipes out Otis with a dive, and Ray drove Gable into the barricade with a sliding power bomb. After the break, Gable then manages to gain control with suplexes. Dominic drags and dodges a moonsault, and then uses Schoolboy for near fall. Ray tags in, gives Gable a Rana, and then kick to the head for near fall. Ray then manages to get distracted by the Miz, and there's a German suplex by Gable. Ray comes back with a Bulldog. Otis breaks up the cover. Mysterio's drive Otis into the ring post before giving Gable double 619. Miz hooks the apron, so Mysterio takes him out with a seated senton, distracted Dominic, and extra time allows Gable to reverse flying crossbody into a roll-up for a pinfall win. Match was fine, I guess. Alexa Bliss second segment. Psychiatrist gives Bliss a new Lily doll, reminder of the old Lily inside. After all these weeks, he concluded that she was just fine as long as she kept Lily by her side. She thanks him and shakes his hand. She made him shake Lily's hand too before leaving. Bliss started that Newton's cradle. Bliss tells Lily she was healed. Bliss mentions that there's an opening in the chamber match and announced that Bliss is now in the match, so who really cares? Seth Rollins enters and they go to a commercial airing SmackDown recap video running down the Elimination Chamber card, which now includes Mysterio versus The Miz. Randy Orton enters as they go to commercial again. Seth Rollins defeats Randy Orton. My gosh, this show feels really, really long at this point. Rollins then is in control. Orton gives a back suplex to the announce table. Rollins blocks a draping DDT, follows by a flying knee strike and suicide dive. After the break, Rollins hits a suplex. Orton comes back with a superplex for a near fall. I remember when that was finished. They go back and forth until Rollins hits a sling blade, but Orton counters with a curve stomp into a power slam for a near fall of his own. Rollins follows up with a super kick for another near fall, so basically near falls mean nothing now. Rollins hits consecutive elbow strikes, but Orton dodges, stomp again, and follows up with a draping DDT and an RKO. Alpha Academy music is inserted. Orton hits the RKO, and Gable and Otis run out. Riddle attacks them from behind. Orton then gets after Otis and Gable to help Riddle, but they hurry back to avoid a countout, and Orton slides back into the ring. Rollins stomps him for the pinfall win, and the show is mercifully over and done with. We'll be back with more right after this.